So UFC 307's coming up. I'm actually recording this day of actually at like 12. So like right before the event. I don't know if it's gonna come out like the same day. We'll see what it is. But since Alex Pereira is fighting again in the main event, I just want to talk about how this light heavyweight division isn't that great. Like, it's probably the worst division in the UFC right now. And I know a bunch of people talked about this, a bunch of people say this, but I also have to put out my thoughts for you guys and tell you guys what I think is so bad about the UFC light heavyweight division. The biggest thing we have to talk about is there is no talent in the light heavyweight division. They're not good, and it means they're not interesting either. I mean, none of these guys will sell pay-per-view. Besides Alex Ferreira, who was a middleweight. He's not, besides him, no one's selling a pay-per-view. Besides Yuri, maybe. Yuri and Jamal Hill. Those are the three who are selling a pay-per-view. Alex, Yuri, Jamal. You think Uncle Live selling a pay-per-view? Uncle Live cannot sell a pay-per-view. Think Jan or like Rakic could? No, bro. Johnny Walker could because he's stupid, bro. You would not watch a main event with Johnny Walker though. Never in your life would you watch a main event with Johnny Walker. Like, and these rankings are not good either. You can look at the top 15 and be like, oh god, we have a problem here. We have a problem. Why is Johnny Walker in the top 10? That makes no sense. Imagine if we get some like up and coming new contender and he's trying to break it to the top 10. And that's why it's Johnny Walker. That's just giving him rank number 9 spot, bruh. Like, that's not an interesting fight. That's not gonna be interesting for Johnny Walker to lose in one round. Dude, Johnny Walker is not getting a win in the UFC unless he moves up to heavyweight. Or he just continues to fight bums. Well, he hasn't really, but he fights bums and light heavyweight, which there are a lot of. There are a lot of bums light heavyweight. If he does that, he's not gonna get another win. He's a personality. He's an interesting guy. He had a lot of hype, but he's just like he's just stupid. Like, he's not gonna get a win. And then Anthony Smith, and Dominic Reyes. Why in the top 15? Who Who thinks Anthony Smith is a good fighter anymore? Who thinks Anthony Smith is a top 15 fighter anymore? He has 20 losses in his professional MMA career. He has 20 losses, bro. How the UFC would never allow it if it wasn't Anthony Smith. Okay? He got embarrassed by Roundtree too. And his next fight is with Dominic Reyes. So I'm gonna pause and like sit there for a second. Dominic Reyes is his next fight. Who in the world wants to see Anthony Smith versus Dominic Reyes? Dominic Reyes has done nothing after he beat John Jones. Well, yeah, we all know he beat John Jones. He has done nothing. We don't want these fighters anymore. These light heavyweights are all trash. They are all trash. And you know it is bad when Khalil Roundtree is getting a title shot at number 8. No, I get it. He's an interesting guy. He's an interesting competitor. But you can't get a title shot after beating Anthony Smith. You know what I'm saying? You can't do something like that. As your last one, Anthony Smith is not... And it took 3 rounds. It took 3 rounds for him to knock out Anthony Smith. Sure, you embarrass him, but still. Like, do we really want him getting a title shot? I know Ankalaev and Alex Pereira had the whole drama. We're not getting into that. But still, Alex has exposed this division. Like, bad. Yeah, that brings me to my next point. Alex Pereira is too strong, bro. He is like making light heavyweight look like horrible competitors because he's just that good. He's beat so many people. He beat Jan. He beat Yuri twice. That is a crazy accomplishment. And he beat Jamal Hill. And we all know Yuri's a dog. We know Hill's a dog. We know Jan's a dog. I mean, he did beat Israel Adesanya. But maybe we have been thinking all along that this light heavyweight division was that great. Like, after Jones was gone, after Gustafsson was gone, maybe the light heavyweight division has taken a very, 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 very harsh decline. I mean, Glover Teixeira was champion. I know he's good, but it was like 40 something. Like, that's not that great of a look. And when we really think about it, I know most divisions are sort of like this, but like outside of this top 4, no one here is really good. Rakic got whooped by Yuri in 2 rounds. And Alex Pereira beat him twice. Made it look easy, you know? And like this whole division is looking more and more bummy by the second because maybe they're just too weak. Maybe it's not like Alex had is like this dominating guy, which he is. He is. We saw him run through middleweight, but he's making like heavyweight look way easier. When people were saying middleweight's the worst division, middleweight has no talent. Light heavyweight's looking bad, you know? Like he demolished on Strickland. He demolished a former champ, demolished tons of former champs. But you can't be going through the division, fighting more than they are, going in there and whooping everyone. You know, he's cleared out his division. Besides Ankalaev, he's cleared out the division. He could go up to heavyweight right now and wouldn't be mad. He's basically he has GOAT status already, but it's also like this level of competition might not be that good. We need to see what happens when Alex leaves because he is gonna leave soon on. He is pretty old. He's gonna leave. And when Alex leaves, we need to see how this light heavyweight division goes because there's no new guys. There's no new top guys. You know, there's no new fresh talent. So maybe light heavyweight's gonna be like the old middleweight where the title gets passed around, passed around. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. I mean, it already was, but I feel like it's gonna be worse. I feel like light heavyweight will be remembered as like the worst division, like worse than like it's probably less interesting than the flyweights at this point. Like I'd rather watch Pantoja than would rather watch Carlos Orlberg, and I like him, but I would rather watch Pantoja versus Usyk like two than do any of this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's why I think light heavyweight is probably the worst division right now in the UFC. But that's really all I got. Subscribe, like, send it to some people, trying to get some subscribers at least. Yeah, see ya.